Hello and welcome to the Safe Dog Bite Prevention Program. Dog bites are scary, but dog bite prevention shouldn't be. The Good Dog in a Box program developed SAFE, which we teach, to make it easy and fun to talk to children about dog bite prevention. SAFE teaches adults and children of any age practical skills that can help you be safer around dogs that you know and dogs you don't know. We've got a busy agenda today, packed with really valuable information for you. We're going to learn how to talk dog with dog body language. We're going to learn how to properly meet a new dog, how to be an advocate for our dog, and 9 steps to help your children avoid dog bites, and these apply to adults as well. How to play the safe game. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, which is also known as the AVMA, more than 4.5 million people in the United States are bitten by dogs every year. That's almost 1 in 5 people bitten, which requires medical attention, and by far the most common victims of dog bites are children and the elderly. Over 400,000 children in the United States are bitten by dogs each year, and that's too many of our children getting hurt, which is why we're here today. We want to give you information to help keep you and your children safe. So let's start a discussion with what to do around a dog that you don't know. First of all, teach your children. Never to approach a loose dog. No matter how cute the puppy is, their first response should be to find an adult to tell them. But what if your child is approached by a loose dog that they don't know? Maybe your child is at the park or even in your neighborhood on their own backyard playing. What would they do if a dog was growling or appeared mean or vicious? Would they start to scream and run away, or worse yet, scream and run away at the same time? This can get your child bitten by a dog. Unfortunately, we've seen this happen, like the incident in Northumberland, England last year when 11 children were bitten by a dog. So we teach the safe game, to be still and quiet. It's a very simple game that you can teach your children called SAFE. Step 1, stay still and chill. Don't move and be quiet. Arms crossed like a boss. Keep your arms still and close to your body. Face away like you don't want to play. Turn your head to the side. Eyes down on the ground. Do not look at or stare at the dog. Playing the safe game can make a nasty dog lose interest in your child and go away without hurting or biting your child, and the same goes for adults. So it's easy to teach children about strange dogs. But what about dogs they know? This one is much harder. A dog that belongs to a friend, their grandparents' dog, or even your own family dog. The fact is, any dog can bite, regardless of how long you've had your furry friend or how well you think you know him. Even your family dog can become stressed by a combination of factors that can cause a bite or attack on a child. It's the nature of children to be curious, loud, and sometimes a bit rough, which can all contribute to why a dog could bite. The majority of dog bites involving young children happen in familiar environments with dogs they know. Many people report that these bites seem to come out of the blue or out of nowhere, or my favorite term, which is unprovoked. That the dog just snapped without any warning. But the reality is there are many factors that lead up to dog bites, and the good news is many bites can be avoided through awareness, supervision, learning dog body language, and using the safe game. For dogs we know, we have another safe game. Soft touch, not too much. Pat the dog gently on their chest and side. Children and adults usually make a beeline for the dog's head, and many dogs find having their head touched uncomfortable and invasive. The dog's chest and side are more neutral areas that many dogs are more comfortable with. Leaning over a dog's head or pushing your face into a dog's face can also get people of all ages bitten. This is the most common cause of dog bites to the face, is giving your dog kisses or putting your face too close to your dog's face. Ask the dog if they've had enough. That's okay. After a brief period of gentle petting or other interaction, stop. Stop play or petting and see what the dog chooses to do. If they have had enough and walk away, it's okay to let them have a break if they need it. They will come back when they want more. Be a friend. Don't bother your dog when they're eating or sleeping. Children find dogs fascinating, so do adults, and want to interact with them at every given opportunity. Your dog needs space, especially when they are eating and sleeping. Make these times off limits for children and guests to your home for interactions with your dog. Enjoy, but not as a toy. Do not ride, push, or dress up your dog. Parents sometimes let their guard down. They have a tolerant dog that allows children to poke, prod, dress up, and climb on them. Just because your dog tolerates it does not make it appropriate, safe, or fair to the dog or any animal. Dogs are not toys, and if your child wants to play with the dog, parents need to create opportunities that both the dog and the child enjoy. Your child understanding and respecting your dog or another dog they know with these 4 simple steps can help diffuse a potentially dangerous situation, especially when an adult is not nearby. It is very important to note that children under the age of 6 do not have impulse control, and they do need constant monitoring and supervision around dogs, especially when children are under the age of 3, as they really don't have empathy and they find the reactions they get to be funny. That is, until it injures them. Practice both the safe for dogs you know and the safe for dogs you don't know games with your child or other adults that you know. You can also go to gooddoginabox.com and download fun materials for SAFE that can help you start a conversation about dog safety with your family and friends. These simple steps can help build a relationship between your children and dogs based on trust and cooperation. Supervision is key, regardless of age. Children 12 and under need to be supervised around dogs. Actively supervise all interactions between your child and any dog. Just because your child is interacting with a dog they have met before, or a dog they know well, or even a dog they live with, do not assume that you can slack off on your active adult supervision. That means that your full attention and guidance at all times. And if you can't provide your active supervision, then measures should be taken to separate dogs and children for safety while you multitask or leave the room. It's the adult's responsibility to monitor not only the behavior of your child, but also the subtle signs of stress or discomfort that the dog may be displaying. Now let's talk about meeting a new dog. It's important as adults to think about your actions around dogs and children. We want to model the appropriate behavior around dogs because our children will copy it, good or bad, safe or dangerous. And let's face it, we all can forget and throw good judgment out the window when we meet a really cute puppy or a dog, but remember, your children are watching. It's important to follow their safe approach behaviors when meeting a new dog. May we pet your dog? Sure, Oscar loves kids, and Oscar's thinking, when they're nice. This is really important for when parents need to understand body language, because sometimes owners aren't really aware that their dogs are uncomfortable. So if a parent understands body language, they can help prevent issues from becoming worse or putting their child in a position where they might get bit by that new dog. Do not stick your face or hands in the dog's face, and do not stare into the eyes of a dog. Do not pet the dog on top of their head. Don't grab the dog and hug or kiss it. It's very important to teach children that dogs do not like hugs and kisses. Recently, I was in a store working with a client's dog, and a family with 2 young children, about 4 and 6, came around the corner. They complimented how cute the dog was. I said, thank you. She is a German Shepherd mixed, so she's a large dog. And their children, without asking, ran up and started touching this dog. I know this dog very well. She very much loves these interactions with children, but because it was very dangerous and inappropriate, I decided to take the education route, and it took me several times of interrupting the parents and telling them that this needed to stop. They needed to get their children, because had they not come up to our dog, came up to somebody else's dog, they might have had their children bitten in the face. This opened a dialogue about their dog's behavior towards their children and actually made them realize that what they're doing is allowing their children to do things that make their dog very uncomfortable. And their dog sounded like it had been very tolerant for over a year. I did advise that they teach their dogs with this exact program so that their children, sorry, not the dogs, but their children know how to interact with their dogs in a safe manner, and they can keep their dog in their home without having that extra stress added. Do not squeal or shout how cute the dog is. And this is a huge one. And this one is constantly modeled by parents who get very excited to show their children that there is a dog or a cat. What you do want to do is stay still with your side or your back towards the dog. It's a non-threatening posture that won't alarm the dog, and don't have eye contact with the dog. When he does move slowly, put your fist out so the dog can sniff you. Don't shove it into the dog's face. Just set it down and make it accessible. Gently pet or stroke the dog on his chest or on his back, not the top of his head. When the dog walks away, he's had enough, and you need to respect that. 9 steps to help your children avoid dog bites. 1. Teach your children to respect a dog's space and a dog's body. Do not grab, hit, ride, crawl on, push, pull, yell at a dog. Do teach your children that gentle touch, soft petting on the areas of the dog's body that the dog enjoys are all positive, and allow the dog to have a choice to end the interaction. Step 2, have a space like a dog crate that your dog can retreat to when they need a break that is a child-free zone, and teach your children to respect that area. Baby gates and X pens are also excellent. I do prefer solid baby gates so that your child cannot stick their arms through the baby gate. Talk about dog safety in your home. Create a list of rules in your family about how to behave around dogs. Remind children that the rules about strange dogs are done often. If your children are going on a play date to a friend's home, remind them of your dog rules every time you drop them off, even if your friends don't have a dog. The occasional eye roll or "oh, mom" is better than dealing with the aftermath of a dog bite. Learn dog body language and teach it to your children. It is like speaking a whole new language. It is nonverbal communication, because by the time your dog gets to growling or snapping or biting, your dog has already been whispering and talking and trying to advocate for themselves, and now they're at the point where they're screaming. Play the safe game with your children. Teach your children how to properly meet a new dog. Let them explain to other adults, grandparents, aunts, and uncles what they've learned. Your children can be advocates for dogs other than their own. Every community has an animal shelter and rescue organization. In fact, the ASPCA reports that 1.2 million dogs a year are euthanized. Volunteer time and helping a shelter or raising money for a rescue can be very beneficial. Have your child suggest a school project or after-school club to help an animal-related organization. Create a bulletin board for your school or library with pictures of local animals that need to be adopted. Teach your children the number to call if there is a loose dog or an injured animal in your town. This would be your municipal animal control, animal care and control center, or your dog warden, depending on where you're at. Sometimes it's also run by the police department. In your own neighborhood, help walk, feed, or bathe the pet of someone who is sick or elderly. Ask your children what ideas they have to help the dogs and the animals of your community. You might be surprised about what they come up with, and ask somebody who runs a community outreach program. Some of the answers we get from kids are pretty brilliant. Now let's talk about dog body language. Most dogs do give warning signs of their stress and discomfort, and unfortunately most people do not understand what the dog is trying to tell them, and the signals go unnoticed or ignored. Learning to read a dog's body language and becoming more aware of their stress levels when they are interacting with children can help diffuse situations before bites occur. Let's learn how to talk dog. This is something your children can be taught to help them learn how to read a potentially dangerous situation. We're going to discuss the different areas of a dog's body that can be used to understand what your dog is trying to tell you about the way they feel. Again, I do talk about this being child related, but this also applies to adults. Anybody that you have over as a guest, any dog that you're going to be meeting as an adult, if you have dogs in your workplace environment, all of these things are impacted and are things that adults should be practicing as well. So we have the ears, the eyes, the mouth, the tail, and the whole body. Dogs really can speak. They show subtle signs of stress and anxiety that can tell you when they are uncomfortable or scared, and they show subtle signs of being relaxed and happy. So let's start out our dog body language lesson by looking at the whole body. Each card has a different color. So yellow means slow down, really look at the situation. Green means go ahead, the dog is happy and giving awesome body language communication. Red is a warning to stay away. So these are all stay away warnings. Stiff body, showing teeth, hard stare and ears forward. Teeth showing with mouth open, head and tail held high, stiff body. Flattened on the floor. They're trying to appear smaller, ears back, frozen and not moving. The joys of working through a pandemic. So here's our yellow cards. So here we have those take note. You need to really assess the situation. Crouching, ears may be back, moving slowly, back is curved, head and tail are lowered. And what that means is that the tail is lowered below the middle point. If you were to draw a straight line from the shoulders across the back to the butt, that tail is below that line. Lowered body and it's still. Tail is lowered, tail is basically tucked in this picture. Ears might be back and they're trying to look smaller. Shaking it off. This is actually a stress release. This can go either way. It can be a dog who took that moment of hesitation when meeting somebody, or it can be a dog who is just really uncomfortable and trying to reduce their own tension. It is used to calm themselves. Then you have the green cards. Remember, green means approach. So loose, wiggly body while they're moving. Body is moving loosely, open mouth, tongue is in the mouth, tail is curved, it might be wagging. Relaxed body and still. Body is still but not stiff. Open mouth. Tongue is in mouth. Tail hangs in curve or wagging. Play bow. Bottom up. Front legs on the ground. Open mouth or closed. That's saying everything I do from this point forward is a joke. Let's play. So now we're just going to move on to the mouth. Open mouth with teeth bared. Hard stare. Ears back. Wrinkles in face. Corners of mouth drawn back. This is very clearly, get out of my face. The next step is going to be a bite. And it can be a second from now, a half a second from now, or 5 years from now. But this is very clearly communication that they are not happy. Remember, our red cards are you've passed that point, you need to back off. Stress panting. The tongue is hanging out of the mouth, wrinkles in the face, ears back, their breathing is very fast and heavy. Closed mouth, teeth bared. Stiffness, hard stare, wrinkles in face, ears back, and the corners of the mouth are forward in what's called an agnostic pucker. Yawning. So remember, our yellow is go slow. You need to reassess the situation cards. Yawning. Different than being tired. Mouth opens wide. Ears may be back. You will see this a lot at a groomer's or a vet's office, or sometimes even going to the dog park, or if you have a lot of people over. So these are signs that you can take note of with your dog as you learn. Closed mouth, tightness in lips, wrinkles in their face. You can see this dog is looking very alert, not overly relaxed. And lip licking, which is a very clear sign of stress, as well as turning their head away and looking away from something. So you have a lip lick. Quick lick of the nose, ears might be back, looking at what is creating the stress. Sometimes they'll do this and then they'll turn their head in avoidance and look away. Now we have green means go. Green means come say hi. I'm in a happy mood. Maybe not come walk up to me and say hi, but you can say hi from a distance. Relaxed, open mouth. Lips are loose, not tense. Open mouth. Tongue remains in the mouth. Relaxed, open mouth. Lips are loose, not tense. Open mouth. Tongue remains in the mouth. You can see this in a Bernese Mountain Dog and now in a Golden Retriever. Now we have an Australian Shepherd. Relaxed, open mouth. Lips are loose, not tense. Open mouth. Tongue remains in the mouth. Now we're going to talk about eyes. Eyes can say a lot about how they feel, just like people's eyes can. So warnings to stay away. Hard stare. Stiffness, stillness, moving slowly, head and tail are lowered. Warning to stay away, hard stare, stiffness, stillness, moving slowly, head and tail are lowered. Now you can see both these dogs have that kind of frozen look to them. And you have it again with the third dog. Now the third dog is a little bit more direct because the head is tilted up towards the person that they're looking at, whereas the other two have their head fully lowered and are looking up towards the person instead of straight on. Hard stare, stiffness, stillness, moving slowly, head and tail are lowered. Remember, our yellow cards are our look again. You need to really analyze. So this puppy is looking away, nose is pointed away from the person, away from the stressful situation, and the ears are back. Half moon eyes, also known as whale eyes. You can see the whites of the eyes, the mouth is closed, there's stiffness or stillness in the dog, saying, I'm very uncomfortable, please leave me alone. Wrinkles between the eyes when they're really focusing on something, tense face, and mouth closed. Soft, the green is again go, soft open eyes, mouth open or closed, relaxed face. It kind of looks like they're a little bit squinty at the corners. The dog is happy. Again, soft open eyes, soft open eyes. The Aussie on the far right here, you can actually see the squintiness that I'm talking about a little bit more than you can in the Dachshund and the Chihuahua. But mouth open or closed, but the face is nice and relaxed. There's no wrinkles anywhere. Now we're going to talk about ears and the many different signs that you can get with ears to know what to look for. So again, I'm going to pop our red cards up here so you can see all these different ear positions. They are back or very far forward. Warning to stay away. Ears are flattened. You can see the whites of the eyes. If you look at each one of these dogs, only one of them you can really see that. The mouth is closed. There is a hard stare with each and every one of these dogs. Predominantly the one on the left and the one on the right. The one in the middle is a little bit lowered visually instead of locked on. Now, here's our yellow look again ear. So our flying nun ears. So sometimes dogs have this naturally. So you can usually see those in your Danes or your hounds or your dogs that would normally have cropped ears that you let go natural while they're developing. So it's really important to kind of get to know the dog that you're dealing with or your own dog. So flying nun ears are where the ears are pointed out to the sides, but you're adding in wrinkles to the face and the mouth is closed. Alert ears, the dog is interested in something, ears are up, mouth is closed. Ears are flicking back and forth, mouth is closed. For moving ears, it means that they are reorienting to different sounds and different sights, and they might be looking for an escape, or they might be watching out for something or feeling more uncomfortable because they have multiple things around them that are making them uncomfortable. These are our green cards. So we have relaxed ears that sit at a neutral point. They're not forward or back. A mouth is open, soft eyes. More again, relaxed ears, not forward or back, open mouth, soft eyes. Relaxed ears, they're not forward or back, open mouth, and soft eyes. Our tail tells us a lot. It is a myth that a wagging tail means a happy dog. So it's very important to understand this communication piece because they communicate with their tails like how we use our hands. It's a very important piece to pay attention to. So warning to stay away. Very low tail, mouth closed, trying to look smaller, stiffness, stillness in the tail and the body. Stiffness, stillness in the tail and the body is a common one, but you can also have a tail that's very up high and stays up high, and a tail that is going from the midpoint to one side wagging instead of back and forth or making like a 360-degree wag. Tail curled between the legs. Tail and head very high. Tail may be moving but stays right up, like the tip is trying to stretch up to the clouds. Our go slow, reassess the situation. Still tail, lowered body. Still tail, still body. So the tail is still and higher than the body's point. Remember, we talked about that line earlier. Mouth is closed, body is lowered. Body is still, mouth is closed, tail is still and higher than the body. Tail is still and higher than the body, body is still, and the dog is lip licking. And here's our nice relaxed body language. So we have a dog who's engaged over here on the right, little wire-haired terrier mix. Tail might be moving, mouth open, soft eyes. Tail not too high or too low. It's in a neutral position, that straight line that goes right across. Body is still but relaxed, mouth is open. And this is a relaxed tail, so it hits that point and it just kind of hangs down. It's not tucked underneath, it's not raised above the dog's body. It might be still, but it's relaxed as far as their body goes, and their mouth is open. Now we have a quiz, and let's see if you were paying attention. How does this dog feel? His eyes are looking away, his mouth is closed, his body is still and tense. And let's notice what this boy is doing. He is hugging the dog around the neck. What color do you think this picture is? Exactly, yellow. If you didn't get that, I suggest you rewind and go through those cards a little bit because they can be tricky to learn. This is actually a card game that is available. It's very reasonably priced from gooddoginabox.com. And that you can play with your friends, you can play with your children. We prefer to use it with all of the families that we work with that have older children, pretty much kids over the age of 3. And it's just a fantastic way to help keep these conversations open. How about this dog? How does she feel? She's doing a play bow with a relaxed body. She has an open mouth and a relaxed face, and she has soft open eyes. Is she happy or mad? She's happy.
What?
How does the white dog feel? Her tail is high and still. Her ears are back. She has a closed mouth. Her body is slightly lowered. Do you think she's happy? No, she looks very apprehensive and not sure about what's going on. How does this dog feel? He's flattened on the ground. His mouth is closed. His ears are flattened to his head. His body is frozen. And where's the little boy's hand? Do you notice that he's petting the dog on top of the head? So how do you think this dog feels? Is he happy? Nope. This is one of those back off moments. Allow the dog to move away. It's a thought process that humans have that dogs can just get up and walk away. But for a dog, he's saying, leave me alone. He doesn't necessarily understand how to walk away in this type of situation. How about this dog? Does he look happy to see you? His body is still. He has a stiff, still tail. He's got a hard stare with his eyes. He has a closed mouth. Do you think this dog is safe to go near? No. This dog might be very uncomfortable that you are in his space, and this is one of those stop cards. How about both of these dogs? Are they happy? They have relaxed faces and mouths. Their bodies are still but not tense. Their mouths are open. They have soft open eyes. Is it safe for this little boy to be with these dogs? Yes, these dogs are both happy. But let's look at what the little boy is doing. It might explain why these dogs are happy. He's not laying on the dogs. He's not hugging them. He's being respectful of the space, so he's enjoying being with them. You can see the dogs appreciate that behavior, and they are enjoying time with him too. Show your dog love without hugs and kisses. It's really common to replace that with giving treats, but let's focus on gentle petting or using enrichment activities or helping to prepare the dog's meal as a way to show the dog love. If they want to kiss the dog, tell them to blow the dog a kiss from a distance. Model appropriate behavior towards dogs. Show your interactions to be something that can help guide your children. If you are rough or physically discipline your dog, your child will too. Be kind and be fair. Teach your dog the rules of the house through reward-based training and involve your children in the process. Show your children the best way to get rewards is through good behavior. Always supervise. Kind of skipped over that one. And as much as we need to protect our children from dog bites, we also need to protect our dogs from any person, regardless of age, that is not respecting their space and their body. Bad or disrespectful behavior from an adult to your dog can later play out into a bad situation with your child or yourself. Being an advocate for your dog means that you stand up for that dog. You make sure that it's being treated with respect and care by everyone that it comes in contact with. Your dog can't ask for help. They depend on you to keep them safe. And no is a complete sentence. Have kids show siblings how to treat the dogs. Assign kids responsibilities to care for the dog. Make sure that they spend time with their dog, exercise them, and handle them gently. Have them show their friends how to treat their dog. Our children are the next generation of responsible pet owners. Teach them well. Thank you so much for attending our participation today. We hope that you enjoyed it, even with the minor interruptions from my own children. This is something that we teach in our home. This is something that we teach in other people's homes, and we thank you for welcoming us into your home to learn more about how to make sure that we keep our children, adults, and our elderly safe and prevent dog bites as often as we possibly can.